Those things caught the eye of two important partners. One, it caught the eye of an organization called Westminster Foundation for Democracy. And one day I get a call and they're like, would you be interested in a grant to do the work you're doing? Voila. And I got some very significant grant that gave the institution wings to fly. Okay? Then, a couple of months later, I got another call from the US Embassy. And the US Embassy were telling me, would you be interested in a scholarship? We have looked at what you're doing on human rights and governance, and we're very interested. So they invited me, and they gave me what they call the Fulbright Scholarship to go to my master's in Washington, D.C. An opportunity which I also gladly took. But before that happened, and before I took off, something even more significant happened. And I'm telling you this story for a reason. I decided that I wanted to be active in the public space. And I had been a student leader at university, but I did not want to get into politics. I just wanted to make myself useful in the public space. So I asked the Daily Nation to give me a column. They put me to the test and allowed me to start writing. So I used to write a Sunday column. Every Sunday, I did a Sunday column for the Nation. One day, early morning, around 7 in the morning, very early in the morning, my secretary tells me there is someone to see you here. My practice is that I walk to the reception to receive my guest. So I walk to the reception and I meet a gentleman, a tall, dark, and handsome gentleman. He's carrying a copy, it was a Monday morning, he's carrying a copy of the Nation of the previous day, the Sunday Nation. And he tells me, I am looking for the gentleman who wrote this article, my article. So I tell him, come into my office. He came into my office. We sat down. We ended up talking for 3 hours with this gentleman. And do you know what our conversation was about? This gentleman asked me, I have read your article. I have seen your ideas. Have you ever thought of joining active politics? Have you ever thought of joining elective politics? And I told him no. The one thing that has never crossed my mind is running for political office. I don't think it is my thing. And he told me, you know, in this article, you're talking about two important things. You're talking about the need for Kenya to have a fresh start through a new constitution. You're also talking about Kenya to rethink its economic architecture. The best place to see these two ideas come true is on the floor of Parliament. That is where you have a chance to push your idea where it really counts. The rest, as they say, is history. I got an interest, that seed was planted. And that young, dark, and handsome gentleman who triggered this whole journey is today the President of the Republic of Kenya. So anytime I run into political headwinds, I tell him, if you had not walked into my office and convinced me to get into this trouble, today I'll just be enjoying my quiet legal practice. Why do I tell you these stories? I tell you this story because number one, usipojituma hautapata. Unahitaji kujituma, na vijana lazima tuwe watu wa kujituma. We have a tendency to, of course it's easy to sit back and say, but there are no opportunities. It's easy to sit back and whine. It's easy to sit back and complain and even point fingers. The government is not doing this. No one is giving the opportunity. But let me tell you, good people, it's easier ukijituma. It's easier ukijituma. And this thing you call luck, people call it luck, L-U-C-K. Luck is actually the convergence of effort and opportunity. That is what luck is. Effort converging with opportunity. If you make effort, there is a very high likelihood that that effort will meet opportunity. If you don't make the effort, it is very likely that opportunity will fly right in front of you and you will not notice it. And the effort in your mujitu. So I want to ask young people today, as we start off this journey of this program, kwanza tuamue kwamba we shift our minds from being people who seek employment, and I'm not telling you not to seek employment. By all means, if there's a good opportunity for employment and you see it, and you want to pursue it, and you believe it's good for your career path, go for it. But even as you go for it, be co-creators of opportunities, be co-creators of employment. And as you do that, in this shifting of the mind, shifting of the paradigm, please don't be held back by age-old cliches, and you'll be told, but you're too young. You're too young. But you have no experience. How are you going to do this that you have no experience? In the same year that someone was asking me to run for office, I had gone for an interview. I was obsessed with being part of the constitution-making journey of this country. So I saw an advertisement. That advert had been put out by the gentleman who had been named as chairman of the constitution review process. It's called Professor Yashpal Gai. Yashpal Gai has put out an advert. He wants to hire a research assistant who will help him on the journey to the new constitution. I thought this job was meant for me. I saw it and said, this job is meant for me. I have studied constitutional law. I have just done a dissertation titled The Delicate Balance in Constitution Making. So I have done all the research you can do about constitution making. So I applied, and I'm invited for an interview. So I appeared before Yashpal Gai. He was doing the interviews himself. And he tells me, young man, you think you can do this job? And I'm like, Prof, by all means, this job was actually created for me. And he said, I love your passion, I love your confidence, but I'm looking at your resume, I'm looking at your CV, Hakuna experience, okay? You're just stepping out of law school, okay? And how old are you again, young man? So I tell him my age. He said, okay. Sometime in the future, we will work together, okay? After you have added on a few years, and you have added on a little bit more experience. So I didn't get the job. And for your information, it's the only job I ever attempted to get in my life. To date, I have never applied for any other job. And the same year that someone was telling me I'm too young, a few months down the line, someone else was telling me, get into leadership. Think about this. So, there are those who will discourage you, but don't accept to be discouraged. I love to say, in any fight, what matters is never the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight and the dog in that fight. It's not about your size, it's not about your age. If you are good enough, you are old enough. That is what counts. If you are good enough, you are old enough. So are we ready to shift our mindset so that as we launch this plan in time, VIJANA2INVEST, we launch it saying, we don't want to complain, we don't want to whine, we want to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. And for you to do that, I want you to quickly do 5 things. Number 1, I want you to be lovers of skill. I want you to be lovers of skill. I want you to be lovers of ideas. I want you to be lovers of innovation. There are people who think anybody can do anything. I don't agree. You need to prepare yourself for a particular task. So be people who are receptive to skilling. You want to gain new ideas. You want to be part of innovation. And that is why one of the things I'm proposing here is that this initiative should be combined with what we are doing with the Kenya National Innovation Agency. We have just launched something called the Presidential Innovation Challenge. It's a challenge for young people to innovate across all fields. You can innovate in fisheries, you can innovate in fintech, you can innovate in agriculture. I'm particularly challenging young people to innovate on agriculture. We want to make agriculture look cool so that young people can be part of agriculture. Today, agriculture is not attracting young people because it doesn't look cool. The image of agriculture is still an old, tired woman with a djembe on her shoulder and a child on her back. It doesn't look cool at all. We want young people to make agriculture cool. Plug into we are going to leave here the digital address, the website of the Kenya National Innovation Agency. We launched this presidential challenge in Eldoret. Plug in and bring your ideas. We can make this initiative anchored on the innovation. Number 2, please network. Network. You are not going to be effective if you are stuck in your little space. Break barriers, break silos, and network. Go out and talk to people. And that is why this Kenya National Innovation Agency, we have asked them to send an officer here before you finish today. Someone from the Kenya National Innovation Agency will come to talk to you on how you can network in masters. In the Jamhuri Day week, from 11th to 15th of December, we are hosting the Youth Connect Africa Summit, bringing to Nairobi 20,000 African youth from Lamu to Timbuktu, from Johannesburg to Cairo. 20,000 African youth. And they're coming here to talk about a theme we have called African Youth Innovating Across a Borderless Africa. We want to unleash the thinking of African people. I would love to see all of you as part of that innovation week, the African Innovation Week, for you to network. Number 3, actively, as you network, open markets and share ideas on markets. Go to places where you can get opportunities, because if you are innovating, if you are investing, if you are doing entrepreneurship, and you are not getting outlets, then ni kazi bure. Seek markets, seek opportunities. Number 4, financing capital is critical. And as we talk about capital, again, I want you to be innovative. Some of you are very protectionist. You want to start your entrepreneurship and you want to own it 100%. I'm telling you, release your entrepreneurship. There's nothing wrong for you to say, I will hold 51% of this entrepreneurship and I will release 41% to a strategic partner or a strategic investor. So be open. If you want to take advantage of entrepreneurship, be ready to pull in partners. And partnerships will also ensure that you de-risk or you spread the risk. You spread the risk across many interests. Finally, I want to challenge you to be managers of the most important resource in entrepreneurship besides the human resource. What is the most important resource besides the human resource as you start this journey of entrepreneurship? Anybody? Anybody? What? Many years ago, in a faraway land, some fellow was sentenced to die by his king. On his way to the cell to await his day with the hangman, he told the king, "Your Majesty, you own a horse, don't you?" The king said, "Yes." The king owned an incredible horse, perhaps the most beautiful horse ever seen. And this man knew the king was a vain man. He loved good things and he loved to be fitted as the first to do this, the first to achieve that. So he told the king, "You know, you've sentenced me to die. I have no problem. I accept your sentence. But before I'm hanged, I have one request. You can grant a condemned man one request. Wouldn't you, Your Majesty?" And the king said, "Sure. What is your request?" So he tells the king, "If you give me 1 year, just 1 year, before I exit, you give me 1 year, and I'll teach this horse how to fly. This horse you love so much, you give me a year, and I'll teach him to do what? To fly." The king, being a vain man, is already imagining himself as the first king to ride a flying horse. And so he says, "Oh sure, 1 year, 12 months, you got it." So this fellow goes to the cell, and he said himself like, "Charlie, what is wrong with you? Why would you tell the king something you know that is humanly impossible? You're not going to teach this horse to fly, and you're not. Why you lie to the king? After you fail, your sentence might even be made worse." So this guy now tells him, "Chief, let me tell you something. I have 12 months. And in those 12 months, 3 things could happen. 1, the king may die in those 12 months. And you know the rules in this land. If the king dies, he dies with everything. His orders, his debts, everything. If he had sentenced you to die, you are free to leave. Okay? Number 2, the horse may die in those 12 months. And if the horse dies, I'll simply tell the king, I was just about to get there. The horse was just about to fly, and it died. Number 3, the horse might just fly. The horse might just fly, who knows? What do you think happened after 12 months? What do you think happened? In 1 year's time, we will meet here to celebrate the best entrepreneurial ideas. And I will tell you what happened. But the most important lesson today that you go away with, master time. Be a master of time. Master time in your innovation, in your entrepreneurship, in whatever you do. Be a master of time. Every successful entrepreneur, every successful person in the world has first of all conquered time. Please be masters of time. And God bless your entrepreneurship spirit. And may Plug Mtaani VIJANA2INVEST initiative fly. Let me assure you that the ministry, through our Talanta Hela initiative, will be very happy to provide seed funds, working together with Can Invest to fly the best ideas out of this initiative. Asanteni sana. Am I supposed to declare this thing open?
Yes, Waziri, and kindly, we actually want to do a signing here. So nitaomba Vincent from Can Invest nisaidie na hiyo meza na hizo agreements, and then I invite MD Can Invest between Waziri we sign. Tupigeni waziri makofi tafadhali. Asante sana. So we're going to do the signing. We have a photo moment, and then waziri will declare the program officially launched. So I request all our partners, Radical, the big for Radical, you can join us here. And also Ms. Mary, you can also join us kindly. We will request also Caleb, representative of young people, will have a meeting June. We will have also APSA and SmartCap and ILO. Also, I request Claudia Naisamba atakuwa host wa Plug TV mtaani TV show. Karibu sana. Thank you so much. All our partners kindly. And also we have the Deputy Governor, Nairobi County, tupigeni makofi tafadhali anaingia kama tunaendelea. Your Excellency Namwamba, you join us here as we do the signing. James Joroge. Asante. Vincent. Karibu sisi. MD Radical. Tafadhali naomba tupige makofi jamani. This is a beautiful moment. Mr. Willis Raburu, kama tunakuhitaji kwa hii sign kindly. Sorry. So after the signing, waziri will declare the program officially launched, alafu tutakuwa na kuwepo, alafu tusherehekee. Christian Media, Willis Raburu, asante sana. Tuwapongeze kwa makofi one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Asante sana.
As you exchange the agreement in the spirit of partnership, let me once again congratulate all of you. And also, Madam CEO, together with the partners, also invite your service. You can actually come up, I think, for better view. Is that the case? In the spirit of this partnership, the Kenya National Innovation Agency will be hosting the Kenya National Innovation Week at the tail end of November. And this one is even more special because we have been given the rights to host the Commonwealth Innovation Week. And Lady Patricia Scotland, the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, will be here, together with 57 countries that are members of the Commonwealth. And so all the ideas that we are gathering here to go to the apex, together with the innovation ideas under the Presidential Innovation Channel, should really converge at the Commonwealth Innovation Week. And it is my pleasure, therefore, as we start that journey towards that apex, which will culminate in celebrating Kenya at 60 on Jamhuri Day, with the President awarding the best ideas. May I now declare this incredible project officially open.
Thank you so much, Waziri. Thank you so much to all our partners, Radical, VIJANA2INVEST, APSA. Thank you so much. Asante sana. Picha ya gazeti ndio hiyo. Let me also request Radical representative, Carol, you can join into this picture. Sorry. Makofi tusichoke kupiga tafadhali. This is a very beautiful moment by the way. Makofi tafadhali. Thank you so much. Asante sana. Immediately after we finish this part, we are going to allow Dr. Geoffrey also to make a presentation. Then after that, we're going to take a short break for tea break. Then we'll be back and continue the next part of the program. So as Waziri exits, I'd like to recognize one more time His Excellency Jerome Mushiri, the Deputy Governor of Nairobi County. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for being here with us. And without wasting much time, allow me to welcome Geoffrey Kilonzo. Mr. Geoffrey Kilonzo is a master trainer, International Labour Organization, ILO. He is also the CEO Institute of Certified SYAB Trainers, an agency of ILO. He is also the leader and founder of Plug Mtaani Business Idea Competition. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Geoffrey Kilonzo to take us through the next part of the program. Thank you, sir.
Once again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please allow me to resettle. We want to present to you the concept that we've just launched. Again, so that you can understand what exactly we have launched. Just before we go on with the presentation, before we talk about the program, sometimes we launch programs and we don't tell their stories, or the story of origin. I want to just mention that this program started, the idea has been around for a while, but we sought to get partners. I personally sought to get partners to get this thing going, but it was quite difficult. And one day, I'm a master trainer with ILO, as the MC has mentioned. I will train trainers in line with entrepreneurship. The program down to start and improve your business. And so one day we were running our program, training our trainers, and one of the participants, Bernard, says there's someone I think should know about this program. And when Bernard mentioned that, he brought a lady who has been very instrumental in making this program get adopted, especially by the government, and that's Carol Wadimu. I don't know whether Carol, I think she has stepped out with Waziri. She has been very instrumental in making this happen. Then after that, of course, press and media, Willis and Mr. Gitao, kindly just stand and wave. These are people that have made this happen. Thank you very much. Then, of course, a team from the Institute of SRB Trainers, which I lead. Allow me to request them to stand, led by Dr. Rashini, Naomi. This is a team that has made this idea come to limelight. Thank you very much. I will be introducing the other partners, of course, that have come on board, and we are so grateful. Then VIJANA2INVEST, through Radical, were able to adopt it, and we are here today to launch an idea that we are sure it will transform not only the young people, but also the economic trajectory of our nation. So I want to take you through the program, the concept, how it will run. We have another session in the afternoon with CECs, and want to also so much acknowledge and appreciate the CECs that came to be in this event. Some traveled quite far. We know there are some from Vihiga, Siaya, Oma Bay, that's not near. We truly appreciate that you're here today. So, Plug Mtaani VIJANA2INVEST. What is it? I also want to acknowledge Vincent and media, if they are around. Yes, from VIJANA2INVEST, they're also part of the committee that was putting this idea together. Let me just run you through the program. Why are we talking about Plug Mtaani VIJANA2INVEST, and why the youth? Waziri has just mentioned that our youth population right now, we're talking about around 25 million of our national population as being composed of the young people. And I'm sure these numbers keep rising. Out of the 25 million, 61% plus of these young people are either underemployed or unemployed completely. When we say underemployed, we're saying they are in some form of business or hustle that can be structured and put together into a proper enterprise that can not only rise, but also can create other jobs. So all of this, and the counties are here, these numbers are very important for the counties. 275% of these unemployed or underemployed young people are actually at the county level. And this is not a small population, because when you talk about these, some counties have high population, others have smaller population. And it's important to ask ourselves, so what is the vulnerability of these young people? These are the same young people that are politically exploited. These are the young people that will be involved in running battles and each time, and then the same young people who have suffered predatory lending. It is sad to realize that today a young person who is still pursuing their degree is listed on CRP. So they have started their life and career on a very wrong footing, because next time they are looking for a bank loan, they will have a very negative credit score. So there is a need to have a serious intervention around it. Then there are the same young people who are also in crime, involved in crime, drugs and diseases. These are exposure that young people that have, especially the underemployed and unemployed. But most importantly, that we should think about is the attitude towards entrepreneurship, saving and investment. Our Waziri has mentioned it again, that these young people will be involved in a hustle, small businesses, not to grow them or nurture them to become, but to wait for a job someday. So they will never be serious about that business because they think they will get a job. So they're doing a business and they're applying for jobs at the same time. What is the danger of that? We will never have enterprises that will create jobs in this country because those businesses are actually a by the way. We want to transform